have a team member who's part of my property management company reaching out to me for a difficult to rent unit. So we have a property in a neighborhood in Philadelphia, in a nicer neighborhood in Pennsport, very rentable area. But the property is difficult to rent, and tenants are inquiring about it, saying they would be willing to rent it if the owner was willing to install a washer and dryer. And right there is the reason why the unit isn't renting, is because it doesn't have a washer and dryer. Now, not every market would it be certain things to be expected. Different market, different cities have different tenant expectations. You should, as a rental property owner, try to make sure your property meets or exceeds tenant expectations. So if the expectation is that a property would have a washer and dryer, then absolutely you should have a washer and dryer. So this gentleman's property has been vacant for ever for my company, just an incredibly long time for us, and he's just hemorrhaging rent. And he'll always continue hemorrhaging rent. So he's basically even if we find a tenant that's willing to move into a unit without a washer and dryer, so a house without a washer and dryer, it's a full size house, has a spot for a washer and dryer, he's not willing to provide it. Even if we do find a tenant, I don't know that they're going to move out any more quickly. I don't think it's going to increase his vacancy relative to shortening. If we do find a tenant that's willing to move into a place without a washer and dryer, that's willing to bring their own or rent their own or however they would go about it, I don't think it's going to reduce the duration of how long they stay. But once they move out, we're going to go right back to immediately just having a hurdle, really having a difficult time trying to find a tenant that's willing to rent a place without a washer and dryer. So basically, a washer and dryer is going to cost him X, and then, of course, he's going to have to pay to maintain it. So appliances do need repairs, but he's going to get considerably less rent because he's trying to rent a unit without a washer and dryer. And he's going to have massive, massive vacancy. So whatever your market is, try to keep your properties consistent with tenant expectations. If the expectation is that most every unit has a washer and dryer, then you really need to make sure you have a washer and dryer. I mean, vacancy is incredibly expensive. I think most rental property owners understand that, but I don't know if they understand it as much as a property manager or, in my case, property management company owner knows. I mean, our medium rental price of property that we manage is costing that owner over $78 a day. We call it a per day vacancy penalty fee. Is what we refer to it in my company with my staff and my team and I. $78 a day per day. $78 is $78, but times that by 3. Go ahead and times that by 5 or times it by 10. I mean, you're talking about $780 just being vacant an extra 10 days every time a tenant moves out. That's actually a lot of money. Is it enough to buy a washer or dryer? No. Is it approaching it? Yes. So this property has been certainly vacant more than 10 days. It's a problem child for us. So it's a property that we focus in on because it hasn't been rented in a long time. So my entire team is just fixated on it, trying to find a tenant. But again, the whole point, pay attention to your market, go through some rental ads, see what everybody else is offering, and you should be offering the same. If everyone's offering, with exceptions to certain things that tenants don't seem to really care about. So everybody in the city of Philadelphia is typically often properties come with water included. So the landlord's going to pay the water. With my property management company, we find tenants are willing to pay the water. We don't get pushback. So we're putting it in the lease that the tenant's responsible for the water. We're not hearing any complaints or any hesitation from the tenants to signing a lease. So things like utilities, you might be able to kind of navigate with. Things like appliances and amenities, you certainly can't. All right? I'm just a humble Philadelphia property management company owner doing my best to answer your rental property investing questions. And as always, happy rental property investing.